Good morning from Mackinac Island. We're here with Mr. Adrien Lewis, the president of Forgotten Harvest. How's it going?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How's the Mackinac Policy Conference for you? And what brings you to the policy conference this year?
Well, the Mackinac Policy Conference, I've actually attended the past 3 years, is definitely a way for us to make sure that we have a strong pulse on what policies can impact our communities and the work that we do. Our mission is essential to be able to carry out throughout Wayne, Oakland, Macomb County. So those policies that not only impact Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, but also the entire state are very important to me.
Food insecurities are a big issue and not just southeastern Michigan, but all across the state.
Absolutely.
And there was a recent study that came out just talking about the food deserts that exist, and it named Detroit as a food desert. How can we eradicate that problem from our landscape in 2025?
Absolutely. Well, what I would say to that, first of all, it's possible. And it's going to take a mass amount of collaboration from our nonprofit sector as well as our industry and corporate sectors. But it starts with understanding what nutrition looks like and what those main ingredients would look like for our community to remain and stay healthy. And then you got to look at how much waste is out there in food, right? I mean, we pride ourselves on being able to rescue from all of the major retailers, suppliers, manufacturers, farmers, and we're able to distribute almost 50 million pounds of food annually.
Wow.
And that's equivalent to about 36 million meals. So think about that. And that's from the food we rescue. And this is fresh, surplus, nutritious foods that's out there that are in households, that are in, large banquet settings that, we're able to, again, get it to our community free of charge. And if you think about the state of our economy as it is, or the state of our environment, as far as the uncertainty around some of the assistance programs that are out there, I have direct belief that it's going to probably increase in terms of the demand for our services.
I was going to ask, how are some of these federal policies impacting the work that you do and the customers that you serve?
Yeah, our neighbors, again, that are in need. The average. Here's a fun fact: the average person that utilizes our services, they utilize our services about 5 times a year. And keep in mind, we operate 12 months, 365 days a year, right? And they utilize our services 5 times. If someone utilizes our service 5 times a year, that means they just had a bad day, a bad week. This is not always the stereotypical need of, hey, I need this and I'm overly dependent upon it. We're a great safety net. And to be able to do that, we need to make sure that the policies that are put in place are well informed as they're being built, first of all. Secondly, there's an amount of accountability for our legislators and our elected officials to really understand what can impact our community, especially those that are underserved.
How willing do you think they are to listen to some of the things that you're saying when you're bringing to the table, the real lived experiences of the people whose votes they're going after?
Yeah, and that's what I love about this setting, because every legislator that I've approached, they are willing to listen. Okay, and again, it's definitely about the approach. It's about the planning, and we at Forgotten Harvest understand that it's not necessarily about a certain political side. It's about the policy itself, and we're able to speak intelligently on that. And I would say it's been receptive. And I just hope that the votes show that, as, they approach to the new farm bill or a farm bill at some point, that's definitely going to be an impact on us. And quite frankly, what's front and center is, for those that are in need is Medicaid and SNAP, those at risk, I know that that's going to definitely send demand for our services up, and I'd rather see those remain in place so that we can continue at the level that we're at versus it being an increase in the need for our service.
And that's what I was going to ask. How do you ensure that you guys are equipped to handle a potential uptick with the understanding that, people's lifelines to other means of survival may deteriorate, over this administration?
It becomes awareness opportunities such as this. It becomes a matter of really collaborating with my colleagues throughout the nonprofit sector, right? We're definitely going to have to get creative in terms of sharing resources, putting the awareness out there, but also inviting our current supporters to possibly lean in a little bit more during times like this. I think of it like, we need time, talent, and treasure during times like this, right? Volunteerism as far as the time, in terms of some of the heavy lifting on some of our strategic planning, that requires some good talent, right? And then, of course, like I said, we're able to deliver to almost 200 partner agencies throughout Metro Detroit free of charge. So you think about some of the overhead, even though I would say that it's very lean in terms of that, but it's still needed, right?
Absolutely.
And if that's going to increase in any way, I would just encourage our supporters and I soon to be supporters to really be prepared to help.
I know you talked about collaboration among nonprofits. That's vital right now,
Yeah.
given the state of where we are and, some federal funds being withheld. But when you reach out to community partners with just so much uncertainty surrounding federal dollars right now, have you seen that impact Forgotten Harvest in a way that says we really might be at risk at reducing our services?
Well, absolutely. And as I, reach out to my colleagues across the sector, they're feeling the same thoughts, right? Our budget, it has about 10% dependency on federal funding, right? That's equivalent to almost $2 million.
Okay.
And then you look at the USDA foods that we were receiving as well. That's been cut as well. So that automatically, takes away from our total pie as it relates to rescue foods that we're able to deliver free of charge. So again, collaborating, in some cases, it may mean that we're going to have to raise more funding to purchase foods. And we're open to that. Again, we have to be creative in terms of cutting costs in other ways so that we can free up dollars to be able to purchase foods at some point.
So you said approximately $2 million in federal funding has been cut.
It's at risk.
At risk.
It's at risk.
What does that equate to in terms of the number of meals you're able to provide for Metro Detroit families?
Yeah, that's about roughly about 1.5 million meals.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, and you think about that, right? And you think about our total population throughout Metro Detroit, and how it compares in correlation to that. That's huge.
I mean,
That's huge, especially.
That's dinner for every child in Detroit for a week.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And while, again, you said the average household utilizes your services 5 times a year.
About 5 times a year.
That impact goes a long way when we
Yeah.
talk about the threats to the funding.
Absolutely. And I would just encourage everyone to understand that the population that we serve are human beings that deserve the dignity and respect, that truly want to be able to get past certain hard times. And they just need a hand up, and we want to continue to have a success rate of doing that. It's been now 35 years since Forgotten Harvest has been in existence. This is year 35. So we have a proven track record to withstand times like this, but this is much different, even with than the COVID pandemic, right? Because of the cloud of uncertainty. Again, I don't want to ever call it doom and gloom, but it's a time and it's a call for action, Jeremy. It is.
Let's end on a positive note.
Yeah.
tell us what you have, that you're looking forward to for the rest of the year with Forgotten Harvest.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm really looking forward to the community understanding the impact of what we do. And I would encourage everyone to visit our website, www.forgottenharvest.org. And you'll find so many things, positive things, like you said, that we're doing, that we're collaborating in the community to be able to not only feed, but make people aware of what we're offering to our community free of charge. So a lot of positive things and great people. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, is that Forgotten Harvest's core team staff is so committed to getting through these times, as well as our board members and our dedicated volunteers. So it is definitely positive in that aspect, but it's also very serious in terms of the times we're in right now.
That's good to hear. Mr. Lewis, I thank you for your time and appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
All right.